Hello and welcome. So, Proxmox 9 is officially out. It's got new features, a new kernel, and it brings with it that classic dilemma every single admin faces with a big new release.
Do you just dive right in, mash that upgrade button, and hope for the best? Or do you step back, pour yourself a coffee, and actually come up with a plan? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
Okay, so first things first. The biggest question here isn't how you upgrade, it's when. And if you talk to any seasoned pros, you'll find the answer pretty much always boils down to one simple idea: the patience principle.
Yep, that's it. The single most common, most repeated piece of advice you're going to hear from people who've been there and done that is to just wait. It's not that version 9.0 is bad, not at all. It's that the real world is complicated. And that first 0.1 release is usually where all those weird initial edge case bugs get smoothed over.
You know, you can almost think of the community forums as your own personal stability meter. When you see the number of "help, my upgrade failed" posts start to die down, that's your signal. That's when you know the coast is getting clear, because you've let all the brave pioneers find the landmines for you.
But of course, the right time for you really depends on what you're running. If it's a home lab, hey, go for it. Live a little dangerously. If the upgrade explodes, it's a learning experience, right? Not a total catastrophe. But for a production system, oh, that is a completely different story. The N-1 rule is basically law. You stay one major version behind because stability is everything, and it always, always wins over shiny new features.
All right, so let's say you've picked your moment. The next big thing is making the actual upgrade process go as smoothly as possible. And that is all about having a solid pre-flight checklist. And there are really 3 things you absolutely have to do. First, you can actually test drive the new kernel on your current system. It's a fantastic trick to see if your specific hardware is going to have a problem. Second, you have to run the official pre-flight script. It's literally designed to tell you what's going to break. And third, and this is the one people forget all the time, check your ecosystem.
And here's a pro tip for you. Don't just run that script once and call it a day. No, you run it, you fix what it tells you to fix, and then you run it again. You keep doing that until it comes back completely clean. You're aiming for 0 surprises on upgrade day, and this is your dress rehearsal. Now that ecosystem check, it is so important. If your Proxmox server connects to anything else, I'm talking monitoring, automation, and especially your backup software, you must check for compatibility first. Let me put it this way. An upgrade that breaks your backup system is like getting in your car and cutting the brake lines. And this isn't a hypothetical. At launch, even huge platforms like Veeam were not ready for Proxmox 9. Which brings us perfectly to our ultimate safety net. Because when it comes to avoiding a total disaster, nothing, and I mean nothing, is more important than your backups. They are not optional. Period.
You know, when an upgrade actually does go wrong, and believe me, it can happen to the best of us, you only ever hear 2 kinds of stories from people about what happened next. And there's really no in-between. The story's either, yeah, I restored from my backup and I was back online in 15 minutes, or it's I spent the next 3 days in a sleep-deprived nightmare rebuilding everything from scratch. That's the real choice you're making with your backup plan.
So what does a sane backup plan even look like? Well, it's all about layers. You need a bare metal backup of the Proxmox host itself. You need separate, ideally off-site, backups of all your VMs and containers. And most importantly, you need to have done verified restore tests. And please, remember this. Snapshots are a great convenience, but they are absolutely not a backup strategy.
Okay, so you're prepared, you're backed up, you're ready to do this. Let's get into the final piece of the puzzle, navigating the known pitfalls, the specific little issues that the early adopters have already found for us. So here are a few of the common gotchas that keep popping up in the forums. Things like weird EFI boot problems after the upgrade, or custom network scripts that suddenly prevent a node from starting up. We're also seeing some incomplete package updates that require you to go in and clean things up by hand. If you use any special drivers, those might need some love too. If any of that sounds familiar, you'll want to plan for some extra troubleshooting time. Now, when you see a list like that, it might make you a little nervous about doing an in-place upgrade on a machine that's been running for years.
And you know what? That's totally reasonable. The good news is you have another option.
It's the classic debate, in-place upgrade versus a fresh, clean install. The in-place way is definitely faster, but you risk carrying forward years of old settings and weird configurations, all that digital cruft. On the flip side, a clean install is more work up front, for sure, but you get a perfectly pristine system that you can then restore your VMs onto from those amazing backups we talked about.
Oh, and here's a super helpful tidbit for anyone with a subscription. Your license key for version 8, it'll work just fine on a clean install of version 9. The license isn't for the software version itself, it's for access to the enterprise repositories. So yeah, this path is totally supported. So when you really boil it all down, a successful Proxmox upgrade has nothing to do with speed. It's not a race. It's all about strategy. It's about patience, preparation, and picking the right path for your specific setup, whether that's a playground in your basement or a mission-critical production cluster.
You know, in the end, maybe the best way to look at it is like this. Let the early adopters go out there and find the dragons. And then, once the map is a little more filled in, you can set sail with a whole lot more confidence. Thanks for joining me.